All right, here we go. We have Mo Gangat, aka Lawyer for Workers. Welcome to Vlad TV.
Yes, sir. What up, Vlad? It's great to be here.
Listen, man, we've been seeing you for a while now. I mean, you've been posting on Instagram about various court cases. I think the Takashi case was the one that kind of got a lot of people's attention. But you've actually commented on a lot of different cases over the past year or so. But this is your first time here, so I want to get into your whole background. Now, what made you become a lawyer in the first place?
Ooh, that's a good question. Honestly, Vlad, I became a lawyer because I couldn't really hack it in some of the other things that I tried. So, I was thinking about medicine. I'm from India, and the running joke amongst people from India is your parents always want you to become a doctor. So I couldn't really hack it with the science courses. I started failing math in the sixth grade. My sixth grade teacher, Mrs. Masso, had these just huge, and I'd just stare at them all day. And once you don't learn math in the sixth grade, forget about it, because the seventh, it gets harder. I went to summer school every year. So anyway, law, I could kind of BS my way through it. If you just kind of come up with a clever argument, say some shit, you get that grade. That's why I went to law school.
You just threw lawyers under the bus everywhere with that statement.
Facts.
Okay, now you actually started representing corporations in the beginning, but you thought that was trash.
Yeah, I was at a very big established, what they call a white shoe law firm called Dewey and LaBeouf. I was working with some heavy hitters, a guy named Bernie Jackson, a guy named Jeff Kessler. By working with, I meant I was one of an army of associates who does their grunt work. And we represented crazy stuff, man. We represented the estate of Michael Jackson, and we represented the NFLPA. And, it's not what it sounds like, though. It's basically you sitting in a room going through papers until you can't go through papers anymore, getting some sleep, and then going through papers until you can't go through papers anymore. And so for me, that type of grunt work lifestyle, 6, 8 years, I'm not about that life. So, I kind of just washed out of corporate law and started bouncing around trying to find something else that might work for me.
Okay, and you mentioned the state of Michael Jackson, because we just interviewed Tom Massaro, who represented Michael Jackson in that big 2005 case. Now, what were you doing for the estate?
Oh, little stuff. When you're one of the army of associates doing grunt work for a major senior partner, they'll send you like a very discreet issue, and then you'll do a bunch of research on it. So, nothing where I could really speak intelligibly on the overall issues. You're a small cog in a wheel. That's what I hated about corporate law.
Okay, and then you went into employment law.
Not quite. So I started bouncing around a little bit. I did like what they call lifestyle law firms, where you do types of law that don't require really hard hours and the money kind of sucks. You're making like $120,000 a year, living in New York City. That's not going to get you very far. So then I started kind of branching out, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go out on my own. And I actually started doing white collar crime because I had a good white collar crime background from all the cases I had done before. So I was representing people who get caught with medical fraud. Basically, the medical device industry is $1 billion industry in this country, and these pharmaceutical companies and medical device manufacturers charge huge markups, 2,000, 3,000% markups. So there's a lot of people who will go and get stuff made for another market like India, and they'll go bring it into the United States, or they'll get generics and they'll bring it into the United States. And the big boys here do a good job of lobbying and getting laws to prevent that from happening, and they call it counterfeiting, they call it gray market product diversion. So anyway, I came to find myself with about 8, 9 people who were my clients who were ready to sort of have me serve them full time. And so I started serving them full time as a white collar criminal defense attorney in New York City.
And that eventually got you into employment law?
So I'm, staying up late at night, really stressed out because I got to deliver good results to keep these guys who were living very cushy lives, and one day out of nowhere find out, oh snap, I might lose all my money, I might do prison time. And I'm thinking I got to get out of that. And so the reason why I went into employment law, it's actually an interesting story. A woman walked into my office one day and she said, I got this claim. I've been working, more than 40 hours a week and I'm not getting paid the right overtime. I said, I don't know nothing about that. And she said, yeah, but, I spoke to someone and they know you and they trust you and I want you to take this case. I said, no, I don't know anything about that. I sent her on her way. And kind of typical, you tell somebody no and they can't think about anything but you. So she came back to my office the very next day and said, look, spoke to another lawyer and I feel comfortable. I want you to take this case. I took that case and I got paid on that case. And what I learned from that case is that you could be the best lawyer in the world, but if you want to make money, you're going to make way more money with something called good facts. What do I mean by good facts? You got to have somebody with a factual situation that's going to get paid in court. So, if you're walking down Times Square and somebody with a Bentley runs through a red light and hits you, you got good facts. You don't need a great lawyer to spin that tale, So somebody's going to come in and say, hey, it's walking down Times Square. This Rolls Royce ran through a red light and hit me. Here's the video camera. If you pay me. And I say, you know what? That might be up my alley.
Okay. So you started doing employment law.
So I started doing employment law because, good facts and employment, and this is sort of the difference between employment and other types of law. Good facts and employment, a lot of workers don't know about it, right? So if you have good facts and employment, you probably need a lawyer to tell you, yo, what they're doing to you, that's wild illegal. And so I saw a market opportunity, a informational gap where I could fill in that information, get my face out in front of workers, educate them when they have good facts to make a claim, and then maybe I could get some easy cases.